It's Waxing Lyrical, baby.
Hello, Waxers, and welcome to Waxing Lyrical with Mainz and Dutch. I'm your host, Mainz, and my colleague, a man who is never detrimental to the podcast, is Mr. Neil Dutton. How are you, Neil?
I carry the damn thing.
Well, yeah, there's that as well. Neil, I don't know if you know, but if anyone knows Neil, people have said in the past that the older he gets, the more he looks like his dad. So to stop looking like his dad, he's decided to grow a goatee, which his dad's got. So I'm actually speaking to Ian Dutton. Hiya, Ian. How are you?
Yeah, beard jealousy is most unbecoming.
I'm not beard jealousy. I'm just saying, you know, if you had more hair, you'd look like your dad.
Yeah, it's had to be grown because I needed to shave, but I have a slight cut on the corner of my mouth, and I didn't fancy shaving over it, so I had to get rid of the rest of it. So while that hits, I'm looking like my dad.
Awesome. Sure you can.
But I am one of the greats, so.
One of the greats, Neil. Explain yourself.
I sent in a question to friend Duffy's podcast, where he introduced and said, N Dutton 13, Neil Dutton, and Greg Cosell went, from England, one of the greats. So if Greg Cosell says it, I'm inclined to believe it.
It's weird. It's like Neil lives in a parallel universe on Twitter and via his world, whereas I know him in both worlds, and it freaks me out a multitude of times.
Oh, that's it. I mean, in literary world, I'm Neil Dutton, UK fantasy expert. In real life, I'm a prick.
Right, let's get on with the show, Dutton. Usual fare. Chat about last week via some hot takes, and this week. You'll give us our fancy darlings and losers, and then we'll wrap the show up as always, giving you some winners on the DraftKings Fancy Team of the Week. You ready to get this party started, Dutton?
Let's roll.
Let's do this. So first things first, let's look at some hot wax takes. First one now, Dutton, and I don't know about you, I literally cannot believe how bad Tyrod Taylor is at stopping the run.
Just pathetic. I mean, you look at his stats, he didn't record any tackles for losses, there were no sacks, there were no interceptions, no pass breakups, no forced fumbles. The man's a joke.
Obviously, we are talking about the fact that, is it Nathan Peterman?
Nate, I believe.
Yeah, I'm going to say Nathan. Is taking over as starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills because, I mean, Tyrod Taylor didn't play well last week. Add him to the list of the other 52 lads who were also garbage in their shellacking by the New Orleans Saints. But Tyrod took the hit. I think, let's be honest, Buffalo's front office have been wanting to do this for about 2 years. They never really wanted Tyrod Taylor. They kind of accidentally got him. He kind of did it okay, if not good in some situations. And they've been desperately trying to get rid of him ever since. And then, under the illusion of tanking, they didn't tank. But now it looks like they're attempting to tank once again.
See, it's as you say, he's been on the shortest possible leash for the last 2 years, and it was just a case of as soon as he has 2 bad games or a game and a half, 2 bad games, then he's gone. Interesting. Of the quarterbacks who have played at least 30 games for the Bills since Jim Kelly retired, Tyrod Taylor has one thing that the rest of them do not. Well, at least one thing. Can you tell me what it is?
I don't know, he probably won some games.
A winning record.
Yeah.
He's 19-18 as a starter.
And now he's on the bench, and the Peterman era starts now.
Absolutely. Woohoo. All aboard that train.
Yeah.
First class tickets still available.
And normal tickets.
Of course.
Lots of them. Second point on, what I always love about the NFL is one of them situations where there's an interception or there's a catch and it gets called as not an interception or not a catch, and the fella runs at his coach to say, throw the flag, especially when it's wrong, because that's always, I definitely caught it, boss. Nah, you never. Have you ever seen a guy tell his coach not to throw a flag while he's throwing a flag? Because if he throws said flag, he'll actually lose possession of the ball.
I never have, but thanks to Foxball, I have now.
Like, the Chicago Bears took ineptitude to its next level, as we were all happy enough in our knowledge that the Green Bay Packers were dead this year. However, the Chicago Bears wanted to give them mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
The Bears believe that strong Packers equals a strong NFL, so they weren't prepared to let them go gently into that good night.
Like, before Rodgers and Favre existed as NFL players, like, the Bears in that storied rivalry were up somewhere in the region of 25 games. They are now down by 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
They stink. John Fox, once they get fired, and I think by that call, will be fired basically as soon as humanly possible after the final game.
That touchback rule is ridiculous. That if you fumble it through the end zone, the other team get the ball. Why? I need a satisfaction. You might deliberately fumble it forward. Who's going to do that? Come on, seriously. Although
I'm going to say the New England Patriots because that's how my brain works.
True. The video of John Fox's reaction when the call is made, set to the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme tune, is one of the greatest pieces of video I've ever seen. It's like that, there's a website that fella does dramatic things, but sets it to My Heart Will Go On, just to show that everything's better with the Titanic music. I think Follies with the Curb music are its comedy sibling.
But speaking of coaches who desperately want to be fired, you're in a game, finally. You could be close to taking the lead. You call your final timeout. You then attempt a quarterback sneak from the 5-yard line, the 4, with no timeouts left and no way to stop the clock, with about 10 seconds left. So, Cleveland, I like Cleveland. I sometimes wonder if it's like, Chicago Bears are terrible, and it's the classic Cleveland Browns, hold my drink.
Oh.
I've got this. And boy, did they have it last week. What a shocking... I literally watched that live, and I was like, I don't even understand what's going on right now.
To be fair to Hugh Jackson, who is... I was going to say he's coaching for his career, but he's not, because if he was coaching for his career, he'd give a shit. I think I have read that several Browns offensive linemen said that Deshaun Kaiser audible to that play. Right, I'm all for allowing quarterbacks to have command of the offense. Carson Wentz is that what he can do at the line of scrimmage is one of his strengths. I know of Brady, Peyton Manning, very good at it. Deshaun, you're not allowed to audible until you grow up. And you certainly don't audible to that. I mean, what did he think they were going to do? Part the way, they might let them score so they'll get the ball back. At half-time, come on. I agree that it's probably the last play they'd expect. It's also the last play you should run because of the game situation. So I can understand, Hugh Jackson obviously gets the crap because he's the play caller. But if he's given his quarterback the right to audible and change the plays, well, that's probably on him as well. But it was just ridiculous.
That's something that we would do because we're not NFL players and don't understand playbooks and panic. I
want to be a hero.
He's an NFL quarterback,
I'll take this.
And he can't.
No.
We the hottest take could be should we talk about how the San Diego Chargers found a new way to lose an NFL game? That was literally both teams not knowing how to win games, and someone happened to win by accident. But I'm not going to do that, Neil. I'm going to talk about the Denver Broncos. In the mighty of fallen sweepstakes, they're gold medal winners at the moment. What has happened?
Well, I was listening to the Roto Underworld podcast with Matt Kelly and Patrick Doherty, and as they pointed out, John Elway's early success as a GM were through free agency, not the draft. The Broncos have not drafted well. They were top-heavy with talent brought in from the free agency pool, but they did nothing to develop the players behind that. I mean, as I say, offensive players who they drafted under Elway. Who's worth a lick of... I mean, he didn't draft Demaryius Thomas. He signed Emmanuel Sanders, which was a very good move. they drafted Derek Wolfe, Malik Jackson, and these people, yeah, very good. But your running backs are trash. Your wide receiver depth it's not there, and you can't pick a quarterback. This is on Elway. This roster. This is still the same defense, more or less, that was last year. But the offense is trash. They can't move the ball. They're exposing the defense too much. This has got to be on the general manager for me.
I think I can't argue. I think you thought they would be trash this year. I thought they would be better. I think you did pick them to come bottom. Go you. I think I said third. Can't really remember now. But I didn't think they'd be this bad. And in the last few games, not really competitive. You know, and that's not something you expect from a team that's only 2 years removed from winning the Super Bowl. Since
their Week 5 bye, the Broncos have been outscored by 97 points, which is the largest differential in the league.
That's.
I thought, when they went to the Eagles, we thought, the Eagles' offense obviously is good, but this is strength versus strength. That was a shellacking of the highest order, and then to come home to a stadium and an opponent that has historically not done well at that ground, to have their backside handed to them again by Tom Brady. The offense is so bad that the defense literally, it's almost like you're going to have to score the points for us, and it's not that good. It's too aggressive. I mean, see, Von Miller, I said this last week to you and Fran, I saw that the way Von Miller comes, you can get him with the option passes. You can use his aggression against him. If I can spot it. I mean, I'm hardly bleeding Paul Brown.
Yeah.
Johnny Brown, maybe, but,
I think it's just, they're struggling and they need to think about this, and they need somehow that when Paxton Lynch comes back, next week, I assume, the guy that we've seen in the past isn't that guy, and Paxton Lynch is actually a good NFL quarterback. Otherwise, they're in serious bother for a long time.
The problem they've got as well is that every year they pin their hopes on CJ Anderson. Well, I'm sorry, breaking news: CJ Anderson's not very good.
Yeah, they
I'm sorry if there's any truthers out there, who really loved. Did he play for Cal? I'm not sure who it was. You're still clinging to that. He wasn't good in college. He's not good in the NFL. He doesn't do anything in the passing game, and so game script dependent. He's game script dependent. They can't run the ball. Their offensive line's crap, so they have to bring in the likes of Jamal Charles, who they thought maybe, this is a missing piece. No, you've got a lot of missing pieces. This is pulling the snake's tail, and it just keeps getting longer. This missing piece. Oh no, we still got it. They're garbage, and it's a rebuilding job. It's a good job they've got a young head coach, because remember that picture of Barack Obama when he took over the presidency to how he looked at the end, how grey he'd gone. Mm-hmm. That's what Vance Joseph's going to look like.
Yeah, no, very true. Yeah, very true.
Because we know as well with the Broncos, if there's going to be a fall guy, it won't be the GM.
No, I think John always say for the time being, and for the time being, I mean forever. They're a hot wax take, Sutton. They're what got us fired up this week, and we wanted to talk to you guys about. Let's dive straight in now. Go fantasy heavy as we always do, and start off with Dutton's favourite player this weekend is Fantasy Darling.
Hello, darling.
Who have you got for us, Neil?
Well, the obvious one would be Travis Kelce, because I don't know if anyone's noticed, the New York Giants can't stop tight ends.
Have you seen how much? If we just I guess, have you got him in your DraftKings team?
No,
because I haven't. Because he was like $9,000. Like DraftKings is like, pick him, go on, but then you can't pick any good running back. So I've never seen it. Like he's like $1,000 more than Rob Gronkowski is. It's crazy. Anyway, sorry.
I do have another chief in the team but similar rationale, but we'll come to that. So I'm going to go a bit more low key. Pratt, that should probably have cost his team a victory on Sunday. I'm going Marquise Lee. Now, he's seen 39 targets over his last 4 games. He's seen double-digit targets in 3 of his last 4. And they're playing. The Jags have gone surprisingly pass-heavy again the last couple of weeks, which is just well because the strength of the Cleveland Browns is their run defense. So Blake Bortles might have to pass some more. The Browns, according to the worksheet from the great Lord Reeves, Rich Rebar, are allowing a touchdown pass every 15.1 pass attempts. well, you do this, 39, you get at least 10 targets, 15. Good chance Marquise Lee's going to get a touchdown. He's already had 2 in his last 2 games. So I would really like Marquise Lee this week.
As long as he doesn't act like a prat.
Mm-hmm.
We've done good, let's do bad. Let's find out who Dutton's fancy loser this week is.
The offensive skill players of the Denver Broncos and Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
All of them. Because that game, as I say, the Bengals have rushed for 100 yards in 6 straight games, so they can't get the run game going. Joe Mixon, as I say, run. We said this earlier this season with Samaje Perine. Run. Get out your head. Get on your feet. Run. They're not even running many plays. I think they're being held to like 40 plays a game. The Broncos' offense is trash. Both offensive lines are garbage. Both defenses, this could be very, very low scoring. And, with the way Dalton is playing and Brock Osweiler, I want absolutely nothing to do with this. But I'm probably still going to have to start AJ Green in most of my leagues.
Is this Marvin Lewis's final year, Neil?
Yes. Because, do you know that anecdote I always tell, the Russian premier comes to power and his predecessor gives him 3 envelopes and says, at the first crisis, open this one. Second crisis, open that one. The first crisis says rearrange the Politburo. The second one says fire all the generals. The third one says write 3 envelopes. He's come out now. He refuses to blame Vontaze Burfict for anything. He blames Jeremy Hill for having surgery during the season and not at the end of it. I'm terribly sorry. It's not your body, Hugh. And then he calls out John Ross, saying he's let the team down because he ran the wrong route. What are you talking about? He let the team down. You've got a suspension waiting to happen at middle linebacker, but John Ross, a rookie running the wrong route, let the team down. You're an idiot.
I used to like Marvin Lewis as well, but I think his time as an NFL head coach is up. I'm with you, Neil.
I tend to agree with the Parcells. 4 years and gone.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right. So obviously, Darling is Marquise Lee, and fancy loser is anybody in a Broncos or Bengals shirt on offense this week.
Anyone go to watch it maybe as well?
Oh God, yeah, that's not one for the faint-hearted, is it? I don't think many Cincinnati fans are going cross country for that one.
God no.
On that though, if you can believe it, we're going to do our teams of the week, and I actually mentioned that game again. But let's get straight onto it and talk about our daily fantasy teams of the week.
Mainz and Duts daily fantasy team of the week.
Show me the money.
Show me the money indeed, Cuba. Don't start us off. Who's your quarterback this week?
Having to wait till Monday Night Football. Russell Wilson, $7,000. He leads the NFC, 2,543 passing yards. In his last 4 meetings with the Seahawks against the Falcons, he has 1,167 yards, 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
It's good, that, right? Apart from the 3 interceptions.
It works.
I've done something that I haven't done yet, and that's go with the Rams quarterback, Mr. Jared Goff. He's playing the Vikings. He's 6,500. Now you look at, I hear what you're going to say, Dutton. It's a bad matchup, right? And I understand that, right? I'd call you back to Kirk Cousins last week, who got 35 fantasy points DFS against said Minnesota Vikings. I don't know if you understand or are aware, but Sean McVay used to run that offense, and he's running something very similar, if not better. Well, it's not if not. It's absolutely better in Los Angeles. I know it's better because I've noticed when they get in the red zone, they score a touchdown. It's weird. It's a baffling concept. It'll never fly. It especially won't fly. It never flew in Washington. So it looks like you're thinking, oh, you've got a really good defense, Minnesota, but they will scheme them open, and Jared Goff will get 300 yards and maybe 3 touchdowns. And I wouldn't be surprised if LA won.
Can I just say just quickly, we were talking about Tyrod Taylor. He has the second most rushing touchdowns among quarterbacks since 2015 with 12. Do you know who he's tied with 12? Kirk Cousins.
I do, yeah, it's Kirk Cousins. I do know that, yeah. And they're actually schemed runs as well, like that deliberate plays. Like, don't know why we don't run that every time we get in the red zone, because you can't ever throw it to anyone or run it more than 2 yards. Jay
Gruden has Nick Rose as his kicker on DraftKings.
It's absolutely awful. Who's your running back one, Dutton?
Rex Goathead, 3,600.
Rex Goathead?
Rex Burkhead for the Patriots. The 3 games he's been back, he's played 17.6%, 31.4%, and 51.4% of the snaps. So he's getting more and more involved. Mike Gillisley, or Gillisley, whatever you pronounce the Pratt's name, was a healthy scratch last week. So Burkhead's coming in. He's also, he's showing his chops on the ground, and also as a passing option, he's being targeted on 32.7% of his routes. Again, these stats courtesy of Rich Rebar. So, as we always like to say, DraftKings is PPR. Should be a high-scoring game south of the border for the Patriots against the Raiders.
Yeah, don't forget, people, that is in Mexico. The Chiefs are playing the Giants, don't Giants flat out stink, and I've given up. I've gone with Kareem Hunt. I just needed to pick someone in. He's 8,000, it's a lot of money. It hasn't been great the last few weeks, but I'm hoping after a rest we're gonna see something special from Kareem. Running back 2, Neil.
Now, no one listens to these shows, as we know, so that's fine, because there'll be no evidence of when I mocked you for picking a Miami back the other week. So I'm going Kenyon Drake, 4,800.
Yay! I'd like to say the last 2, and you're going to say stats like in the last 2 weeks in DraftKings, he's got 17 points both weeks.
104 yards and 92 yards from scrimmages in the last 2. Tampa Bay have allowed at least 5 receptions to 6 different running backs this season. So if they don't run it, he's an option in the passing game as well.
I like picking on the Cowboys, so I'll pick J.J. as my running back too. More involved in the offense, I think, this week after a couple of weeks now in Philadelphia. No Sean Lee this week for the Cowboys again. Big
Sean Lee injured. Drink.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be drunk. You'd be drunk if you had Sean Lee injured drink concept. I think the Eagles will pound them, and hopefully destroy the Dallas Cowboys. He's 5,300.
Just my little take on this Dak v Wentz debate, if I must.
Is there a debate?
There are haters. I like Dak Prescott. I think he's very, very good player. I think he's helped by his situation. Now, both of these quarterbacks have lost their left tackles in the last couple of games. One of the teams has been able to stand up. The other team has caved. I mean, Adrian Claiborne getting 6 sacks. It takes 3 years for Adrian Claiborne to get 6 sacks. The other one, Zeke Elliott. Someone compared the loss of Zeke Elliott to the loss of Darren Sproles. Don't be stupid. Please don't do that. It was someone on Twitter. Yeah, let's not play that game, Eagles fans. And the other one, comparing the loss of Sean Lee to the loss of Jordan Hicks. Now, I like Jordan Hicks, but Sean Lee, when he's fit, is one of the best middle linebackers in the game. I mean,
Jason Peters is a wonderful left tackle and has been for the Eagles. But let's be brutally honest about this. The Cowboys have lost 3 all-pro players.
Yeah.
Then in a salary cap era, you don't replace them with 3. It's not 1992. You don't replace them with 3 all-pro players again.
Yeah. But don't use those losses as an excuse to say, oh, well, Dak's clearly better because if he had them, he'd be better. I'm not asked who's better.
No.
All I know is the NFC East is going to be very interesting if these are the 2 quarterbacks for years to come.
So, I would like to call matter of opinion on that. Wide receiver 1, Neil.
Amari Cooper, 6,000. Did have a touchdown the last time the Raiders played in Mexico, and this should be a high-scoring game.
I'm now going to play a game of tennis unbelievably in the Cardinals Texans game. My wide receiver 1, and it's you know why, Neil? Because certain players in the NFL are quarterback proof, and do you know how we know that? History and evidence. First one is Mr. Larry Fitzgerald. He's 6,900. He's playing the Texans, who stink at the moment. Absolutely terrible. But he will be better. If Blaine Gabbert is playing, right? Is that confirmed?
Yes.
Then he will be better with Blaine Gabbert. As Bruce Arians quite rightly pointed out, one of the reasons that Blaine Gabbert has been garbage has been on shitty teams. Now, don't get me wrong, the issue is the Arizona Cardinals aren't exactly, the 85 Bears, but they're okay, and I expect Larry Fitzgerald to do reasonably well this week.
Spoiler alert, I have an article that's just come out on Numberfire about Blaine Gabbert, comparing his past quarterback performance to the quarterback performances of Carson Palmer and Drew Stanton this year. It's a marriage made in hell. They all deserve each other. They're all terrible.
Who'd you wide receiver to, Dalton?
Tyreek Hill, 7,100. Now, this is a perfect confluence of events that make him perfect. The Giants have allowed 10 touchdowns from outside the red zone this season. They've also allowed 4 35-plus yard TDs in the last 3 games. The Chiefs have scored 11 touchdowns from outside the red zone. Tyreek Hill doesn't do tap-ins. He does screamers in off the bar.
Expect screaming in off the bar, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone for DeAndre Hopkins. He literally is.
God, what are you doing with this game?
I'm playing. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but I didn't spend hours studying this. It was an hour-long process, but I usually take 3 hours doing this week.
So did you spend 58 minutes on the crapper?
I think you'll find, Dutton, if you look at DeAndre Hopkins' record last week, he's still got over 20 points in DraftKings. So he is literally quarterback proof. He is actually quarterback proof, and he will prove it this week. And you will laugh. And as you said, no one listens when I pick. When you laugh and go, "Why are you picking Juju Schuster-Mains? He's garbage. He won't get a play." Incorrect. Means that Kenyon Drake is garbage. He won't play. Don't pick him. Incorrect again. So while you shake your head mockingly while looking at stats, I'll be collecting cash because I'll pick DeAndre Hopkins this week. Go with good players. Good players.
Never said he was Juju was trash. And also, may I present Exhibit A for the defence, Mr. Patrick Peterson? Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Who's your wide receiver? You're gonna look. If you love that, and you haven't seen nothing yet, when you get my wide receiver 3, who's yours?
Marquise Lee, 5,500. Money where mouth is.
The person I'm going to pick had 19 points in his last outing and has had over 10 points in 3 of his last 4. He's playing a team who ranked 28th against the pass. The team that ranked 28th against the pass are the Green Bay Packers. I'm picking someone who plays with Joe Flacco as his quarterback, and that's Jeremy Maclin. He's 4,500.
It's not a terrible call. It's just not a very good one.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. I picked Jeremy Maclin and he's not cut. So there you go.
On a weekend where we will see some absolutely atrocious quarterbacks start for their teams, Joe Flacco is still there stealing a living.
On like the 3rd highest paid salary in the league at the moment or something.
Yeah. Christ on a bike.
And I think only because Rodgers is ahead of him, isn't he? And he's injured. So I think
he might be the highest paid active quarterback.
And I think that would be Kirk.
It's Kirk.
It's Kirk on the multi-bouncing franchise tag. Who's your tight end, Neil?
Stacking up with Russell, Jimmy Graham, 6,200. He's got 6 touchdowns in his last 5 games and 9 in his last 12 meetings versus the Falcons. Obviously, former New Orleans Saints, he has played against them a lot. He
used to play basketball, you know.
So I've heard.
There you go. I'm going with Jared Cook. He's 4,800. He's playing the Pats in Mexico again. We talked about this game a couple of times now. The Pats have been better on defense, but I do expect them to give up yards and touchdowns against the the Raiders. They'll still win because, that's what they do.
Jared Cook is the leading receiver for the Raiders.
And there we go. Fantastic. Who's your flex, Neil?
Tevin Coleman, 5,800. There's no Devonta Freeman. So Coleman, in 2 games in which Freeman either didn't play or didn't finish, averages about 20 touches and 100 yards from scrimmage. He's also scored 9 touchdowns in his last 11 road games.
I was very close to picking him, but went with the Giants running back 2. My flex is everybody's favourite Mainz pick, running back in Miami, Kenyon Drake. I at the moment I got that one right. Eventually I will be proved wrong because he's not very good, but at the moment I'm riding that wave. As Neil's mentioned before, he's 4,800. Who's your defense done?
The Jags.
How much are they?
4,000, most expensive defense.
That was my
every
issue.
Penny.
Yeah, probably worth every penny. My defense is playing the Denver Broncos for
God's sake.
for 3,000. But all they have to do is nothing. They can just stand there and things will come at them. It's dead simple, Neil. 3,000. It's the Cincinnati Bengals. I've took a different approach this week. What can I say?
But you're tanking, hoping to get a high draft pick out of the.
I think unfortunately, I'm New York Jets. Buffalo
just
Bills
good enough.
Tanking, just good enough. Let's review my peculiar team and your normal one. Who's your quarterback?
Russell Wilson.
I've gone for Jared Goff. Who's your running back 1?
Rex Burkhead.
I've got Kareem Hunt. Running back 2?
Kenyon Drake.
I've got J.J. London-born J.J. obviously.
Thank
Wide
you.
receiver 1.
Amari Cooper.
I've got Larry Fitzgerald. Wide receiver 2.
Tyreek the Freak.
I've got DeAndre Hopkins. Wide receiver 3.
Marquise Lee.
Yeah, I've got the oft-cut Jeremy Maclin. Tight end.
Jimmy Graham.
I've got Jared Cook. Flex.
Tevin Coleman.
I've got Kenyon Drake. And your defense and special teams.
Saxonville.
The Bengals. On the Saxonville thing, did you see? Like the Falcons bigging themselves up on Twitter, and Saxonville slapping them right back into their box?
Yeah, it's always good to see 22-year-old interns having at it on social media.
We bemoan the lack of fun in the NFL because there isn't much, and they're really bad at stuff like that. Do you think none of the owners / 20 Park Avenue in New York have Twitter? Because if they did, Twitter would stop being fun too, right?
Oh God, yeah.
Because as you said, those 22-year-old interns are having a battle of laughs, mocking each other and taking the mick. But
Probably,
no one must know.
DMing each other saying, prick. Yeah.
Before we go, Dutton, where can people catch you, follow you, read you this week?
Well, this week I have my tight end streamers article out on Rotoviz. I also have 2 articles for Numberfire. I've been busy. One is why is Julio Jones so ordinary, which I wrote especially for you, and also the aforementioned piece about Blaine Gabbert and the Cardinals quarterback situation. I'll be on the NFL show on Sunday with Nat. That'll be between the early and the late games, as I can't make the early kickoffs because it's Kate's birthday and we're going to play bingo. But I will be back for 6 o'clock.
Kate's younger than you.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to put that out there. If you want to speak to Neil, he is at N13. I am at Mainzy7. Combined, we are at waxing_lyrical. As always, I do the words on that because it's spelled badly with poor grammar.
Last one I'd like to just end on. Anyone who has watched Star Trek Discovery on Netflix, I have one question. If Spock was the first Vulcan in Starfleet, why is there a Vulcan Admiral 10 years before the original series?
These top guys are out.